Hello, everyone. Welcome to the HerStory podcast presented by the Fayetteville Chamber of Commerce. I am so excited today to be talking with Mallory Files and to get to learn more about her story and what has made both her journey unique and what she loves about Fayetteville. So, Mallory, thanks so much for joining. Can you take, I don't know, a minute and tell us about who you are and what you do?
Yes. First, thanks for having me and for inviting me. I am so honored. Okay, let's talk about me for a sec. Okay, a minute. I have a minute. There's so much I want to say. I own Ozark Charcuterie, and I started that 5 years ago out of my house and my kitchen. And I just needed a place to put my hands and put my energy because I was dealing with a lot in my personal life. And I just started making charcuterie. And I pulled from inspiration in my life to do this. And that was from my grandmother. And she's still with us, thankfully. And I continue to call her and talk to her about this business, but this business is basically dedicated to her. And then over the years, I use my marketing background, which I graduated from the U of A with a degree in marketing. And I just used social media to the best of my ability and
Mhm.
really found a lot of success there in promoting my business and promoting my personal brand. And over time, I saved all the money that I possibly could and I threw it into a space now known as Ozark Charcuterie and Wine Bar in downtown Fayetteville. And so I've put my entire life savings, everything I have into the space. And it is now a great space to hang. It's community driven. We obviously have charcuterie, wine. We now have cocktails, and we're just moving and grooving. And my heart and soul is in entrepreneurship. And so this has been definitely a dream come true. So I'm super excited.
I love it. And I love the space that you've created. I think you've done such a good job of making a space that feels, fun and safe for the girls and welcome for the boys too. And just I love it. I love everything about Ozark Charcuterie and Ozark Charcuterie and Wine Bar.
Thank you.
It's
Well,
amazing.
okay. So how I explain this like girl bar phenomenon to people who are like, what, a girl bar? Like boys can't come? I'm like, no, that's not it at all. How I say it is think of it as the antithesis of a sports bar.
Hmm.
So it was designed for men, mostly by men. And this is just the opposite of that. It is designed, my space is designed for women by a woman, me. And in a sports bar, girls, women, they go in and they have a blast. They hang out.
Hmm.
There are drinks curated just for them. They love to watch the sports, but it wasn't made with their gaze in mind. It was made with the male's gaze in mind, which is totally fine and love that for them. But I was like, no, we need a space
Hmm.
too. And so I just flipped the script.
I love it. I'm so excited about it.
Thank you.
I want to ask, let's first talk about Fayetteville.
Yeah.
What do you think it is about Fayetteville and Northwest Arkansas that is like the special sauce? So many people come, they never leave, they choose to stay, they try to leave. That's me. I've been here my whole life. I tried to leave, but can't. It's just so special here. What do you think it is about Fayetteville that's just, I don't know, different?
I think that it is certainly community driven,
Hmm.
which is so wonderful. And I believe that Fayetteville has this overarching mentality of collaboration over competition. So I
Hmm.
can call up a friend who also owns a bar and say, help me. How do I start a cocktail program? And he's like, oh, I'll be right there. And walks down from Block Street and talks to me for a little bit. Or just a charcuterie business, like we refer to each other all the time. Like, I'm so sorry, I'm booked, but so and so at this business can absolutely help you. And she does the same with me. And so we're just always collaborating over competing. And I think that for at least a business owner, that keeps me here in Fayetteville because there are opportunities to go other places in Northwest Arkansas. And I don't think I will ever not have some sort of anchor or business here in Fayetteville.
I love that. I think that's so good. Okay, we're going to start to get a little bit deeper.
Okay.
Have you ever had a time where you felt like I do not belong in this room and in this space? And how did you navigate that?
Okay, let me tell you a story. And if anybody follows me on social media, they already know this story. So I was just moving into my space that I'm in now, and somebody comes up to me and they own a business right near me.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, like, what are you doing? And I said, well, I'm opening this bar. This is the concept. And they said, oh, you're not going to do well here. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. Well, here's my concept and here's my business plan. And I started just like spewing out, like trying to defend myself. And it really made me feel like I didn't belong. I was like, what
Mm-hmm.
am I getting myself into? If this is my first impression of my first neighbor, and then I continue the conversation, he says it again. I redirect and I try to come up with something even better, even more convincing that I'm going to do well here. And then
Mm-hmm.
he says it a third time. And in this moment, and how I dealt with not feeling like I belong in the room is I made space for myself. And I kind of like, I envisioned myself being like, no, I'm going to step into my space. And so I stepped up, I kind of straightened my shoulders and I said, you know, people tend to doubt me and I cannot wait to prove you wrong. And he goes, oh, okay. And gets in his car and leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And now, was that the a reaction that I was looking for in him? I really wanted like a back and forth of like seeing him come to the realization of like, oh no, I need to create space for people, not
Mm-hmm.
put them down. But I take that experience with me and I think about it, I'm not even joking you, every single day. Every day. And I continue to remind myself that I can make room for myself in any room and
Mm.
I can take up space and it's okay. So,
I
yes.
love that. That is so good. And I've heard the story and it's just, makes you want to go punch somebody in the face, but also like light your fire a little bit more.
Yes, they definitely lit my fire. That's for sure.
If you could give advice to somebody else who might be facing similar things and or maybe to like that past version of you, what
Mm.
advice would you give them to help stand strong in that moment?
Ooh, that's good. Do it scared because
Mm.
I was terrified. You know, I don't have any, there's no perfect words that you can say. There's nothing beautifully written because every situation is different. Do it scared. And every moment that you show up for yourself is incredible and courageous. And every time I think back on that moment, I'm proud of myself because I was shaking. My hands were shaking, my knees were weak,
Oh,
and I just did it scared. I stood up for myself scared. And yeah, you don't got to be perfect. You can stumble over your words and you can figure it out. So, yeah.
I love it. It's such a good reminder because I think sometimes we hear stories about people who stood up to somebody and we think, oh, they must just be this brave person and confident. They could do all of this all the time. And then you find yourself in that situation. You're like, why am I so scared? And it's like, nope. All of the people who came before you were most certainly scared. They may have just had a better poker face than what you've got.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yes.
So,
And they're shaking in their boots and they're still doing it scared. So, always
yeah.
do it scared.
Okay. So you mentioned that you have sort of built a little bit of a social media following.
Yes.
What do you think is something that would surprise people, maybe within your community or maybe outside the community, about your career or your journey?
Oh, that people don't know on social media?
Yeah.
Or,
Or
oh,
just, maybe here's the thing, it's really tricky on this one because I know that you're very open and
yeah.
very vulnerable. And
Yeah.
so,
All the time.
so then it's harder. You're like, what haven't I shared? What would be surprising? I don't
Yeah.
know. Is it, yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that maybe the looking at if you're just scrolling my feed, they're like, dang, this girl's got it together.
Mhm.
She wakes up ready to go every single day. And that is not the case. Especially in this season, as we're opening a Rogers location and I'm balancing my time being a mom and being a wife and trying to be a really good business owner, I deal with an immense amount of guilt all the
Mm,
time. Like I'm just in this endless guilt cycle of I feel guilty for being at home away from my business. I feel guilty at my business being away from home. And it is something that I am continuously talking about, like, with my leadership team and with my husband and my family, my support system of like, how can I get out of this? And what I've learned is I need to be present where my feet are
Mm,
and just wherever I am, I need to be present in that moment. And that's something that I don't think a lot of people know about me right now. I mean, I've kind of been writing on it a little bit and trying to figure out a way to send it out into the world because I think that there are a lot of moms and a lot of wives and a lot of business owners who are sitting in a position like mine who are dealing very deeply with this guilt cycle. So, yeah,
that's really hard too,
yeah,
and real. Thank you for sharing with us.
of course.
If you could snap your fingers and like make one thing different within your
Mhm.
life right now, is there anything you would? Is there anything you would change?
Something I can say.
Okay, fair.
um, Let me think.
Can I comment on that for a moment though, as just a
Yeah.
reminder for people? So when kindred spirits in leading a lot with vulnerability, and people are like, wow, you're so open, Sammy, you tell us everything, and I'm like, yes, sure, no, I actually don't, and it is good and normal and healthy that I don't have to share every single thing about me on the internet. And then some people expect it, or they think because you share more than most,
Mhm.
you've shared everything. And I think that I just want to like normalize for other people. Like, number one, no, I'm not a completely open book to the internet. I just seem like it because I'm more open than
That
95% of other people.
so true.
And yet there's no obligation to share everything. And so stop asking it of all of the influencers and the celebrities and the people in your life. Like, they don't have to share everything on the internet. Get over it.
True.
So
Literally so true. I struggle with, well, not struggle with because it's truly a blessing, but there are a lot of people that do come up to me and they're like, "Oh, Mallory, like so glad to meet you." And they're like, "I feel like I'm your best friend and you're my best friend." And I'm like, "Tell me everything about you because I don't know anything about you. What's your name? Like how are you? Where are you from? Like all the
tell me
things."
everything. Start with your name.
Start with your name. That's right. That's right. Something that I wish I could change quickly, a snap of my fingers. I I wish I could be more organized, I
Mm,
think. I know that's maybe superficial answer, but it's just something that I'm currently dealing with of just trying to feel more organized
mhm,
and put the laundry away when it's supposed to go away and make it to every single solitary thing I'm supposed to be at. And also maybe learning to protect my time a bit more and not just like giving my time to whomever
mm,
walks through the door. Like yesterday, he was the nicest person ever, but a guy walks through the door of the bar and he's a wine vendor and he wants to sample 12 wines with me. I'm like, I got to run bingo in like an hour. And sampling 12 wines is like having 2 glasses of wine. And I was like, I let him sit there and sample it with me and I didn't have the time and I should have just been like, I'm sorry, today's not a good day.
yeah.
And I didn't do that. So I wish I could snap my finger and maybe protect my time a bit better.
Speaking of men, are there men in your life that have been like really big cheerleader, and how does that show up for you whenever it really matters?
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. So people actually assume that I'm this big man hater because I have this girl bar. And I'm like, no, I think that men are great
Mhm.
and they're also not great. Like, I'm
Mhm.
sorry, but they're not. But also the same for women. Like, some women are just terrible. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just really a people thing.
There are some people who are great and some people who are terrible,
Good
regardless of your gender.
gender. Exactly. My husband, first and foremost, his name is Chris, and he is the most wonderful cheerleader. I mean, I support her, everything. He has the steady job, the insurance, the great income so that I can frolic. And not that I'm not doing something important and serious, but being an entrepreneur, you don't always have a paycheck. And so he constantly is just like, no worries. Like, we've got this. The biggest supporter, my biggest cheerleader when I was opening the bar. And I had this vision of how the bar was going to look. He could not see it. He was like, I going to be honest with you. I do not see it. but I trust you. I believe in you. I've seen you build this business from literally one order to over $10,000 in sales a month in 2 years. I've seen this craziness happen. And so, I mean, I trust your vision. And not that I needed his permission to do it because it was my money and my investment, but he was like, just do it, girl, do it. And then whenever the wall started to go up and the paint started to go on the wall, he was like, girl, you have something here and you are incredible. And he's also in finance, which is a really good help to have in my life. And so he has never belittled me in talking about finance, business finance. He has always come with just like a helping hand and has taught me so much about business finance. I mean, I run it now myself, but at the beginning I was like, how do I categorize? What is a category? What does this mean? What's a P&L? What's a balance sheet? Like, I didn't know anything. And he has taught me so much and is now in my corner, kind of helping me sometimes make some strategic moves. Chris is incredible and just the best man in the whole wide world.
I love it. I love that.
I love him. I
That's
love him.
amazing.
He's the best.
All right. As we start to come near the end of our conversation, the glass ceiling, what do you think about it? Do you think it's still there for you, your industry, or maybe broadly? What are
Yeah.
your thoughts?
I don't ever see myself even in a building with a ceiling. I think the sky is the limit for me because I've created my own space for that. I think that if I were in a traditional, and this, I'm just speaking for me, I'm not speaking
Yeah.
to anybody who's in a traditional 9 to 5, but if I were, I think I would hit very immovable barriers, which ceilings. And I think for a woman in the food industry, these have been really difficult barriers for me. I've dealt with really terrible food vendors that come through and ask to speak to the owner. And I'm like, hello, that's me. I'm the owner. Like, what's up? Like, do you want to, I would love to meet with you. They're like, no, like the owner. Like, it's me. Would you ever go into any other restaurant and a man says that to you and you just take it at face value? And
Right.
so I've felt it, but knowing that, I mean, I'm my own boss and I can say whatever I need to say in my own space to get the point across in a kind but clear way. I've just removed the ceiling and I've moved myself out of the building and sky's the limit. So I'm really trying to pave a path, not just for me, but for all of the people that work for me and work with me more so of just making sure that they know that the sky's the limit.
All right. We're going to go to our rapid fire questions. So, in theory, these are quick, but sometimes they're a little bit harder. So, we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
What was a job that you wanted when you were a little girl?
I wanted to be a neurosurgeon. Yes.
I love it.
I really wanted to be a neurosurgeon so bad.
Oh my gosh, I'm so bad at these rapid fire questions because I just want to be like, oh, tell me more. Like, what fascinated? Anyway, but like,
I could tell you
supposed to
if you want me
tell me
to.
real. Yeah, go. Tell me
Okay.
more.
All right. So my dad, he was a quadriplegic, meaning that he was paralyzed from the neck down. And I had it in my brain that I was going to save him, I was going to fix him, and then he was going to walk again. And then by the time I was like 15, I realized that was not going to happen and that I can't stand blood. So there's that.
It's a pretty big barrier to being a surgeon.
The big barrier. Yes.
Yeah. All right, next question. Beach, mountains, city, or staycation?
Ooh. I think beach.
Love it. Same. A bonus that hits your account today. Somebody walks in, drops a bunch of money. What's the first thing you're going to do with it?
Plan a trip.
To the beach,
Plan
probably?
Probably to Europe. We want to go to Europe again so bad. Chris and I did. We were high school sweethearts. And we went when we were 20 and so good. It was
Take Lucy with you? Leave her with
No.
grandparents? Love it.
Leave her booty here. Love her.
it.
I love her. And she's the best daughter ever. But no, I want to have fun.
Perfect. Can you describe your wardrobe in like 3 words?
Help me, please.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, it's a moment. I'm, dealing with a lot of things here, and wardrobe is hard for me, period.
And then the last one, do you have a goal maybe you haven't shared with other people yet. You willing to tell us out loud?
Totally, totally. I've been really wanting to stick with me for a second, okay?
Yeah.
So the space that Ozark Charcuterie and Wine Bar is in now, I accidentally turned this into this space. Like that was not ever my original plan. My original plan was actually to open a space like we're opening in Rogers,
Mm.
which is more of a bodega style, a wine and gourmet cheese shop, lunch options. All of our catering is going to be out of the Rogers spot. We will still service all of NWA pickups in Fayetteville, of course. However, the name Ozark Charcuterie and Wine Bar and where we're headed is not, it's feeling like it was like this and now it's kind of coming apart. And so
Mm.
I am going to rebrand Ozark Charcuterie and Wine Bar where the space is now.
Mhm.
I'm going to maintain Ozark Charcuterie where we will have a Rogers location, eventually a Fayetteville location.
Mhm.
Though where the wine bar is now will be rebranded into something else, which I won't share that name publicly yet. But
Yeah, totally fine. Keep
it
it
is,
we gotta
yes,
stay tuned.
yes, you got to stay tuned. Exactly. And then the plan with that is because I've been kind of piloting this like girl bar. I want to like franchise that girl bar.
Yeah.
I want lots of them. I want one, of course, in Benton County, and then we'll have the one in Fayetteville. And then I want Kansas City and Nashville and Dallas and stuff like that. And so that's obviously like the biggest goal that I have. And I haven't ever shared that. I don't think maybe like I've hinted at rebranding like on social media, but I have never sat and like explained my vision for it. So yeah.
I'm honored that we get to be here to
Yeah.
witness that and to get to hear more of the story.
Well, thank you for giving me the platform to do it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us in this conversation for Her Story, the podcast series about women in Fayetteville and how we're contributing to this collective movement and moment and all of the things. So thanks everyone for listening and tune in next time to hear another story on the Her Story podcast.